come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Monique. I'm a life coach, and I teach women how to take responsibility for their happiness, success, and freedom. And the only way to accomplish that is that you take responsibility for yourself. You take responsibility for everything that concerns you, and you will be on your way to happiness, success, and freedom. So come on in, you all. Come on in. Listen, I just came from one of my favorite places. One of my favorite places is Trader Joe's. Does anyone else shop at Trader Joe's? I love Trader Joe's. I'm always trying new things. And they had these smoothies that, the thing about food nowadays, they just have too much sugar in there. And I'm trying to get out of that habit of sugar, but everything has sugar in it. And I don't like all that all the time. I'm trying to break some habits. But that's one of my favorite places. And I ended up getting these smoothies that I tried, and they're pretty good. This was a very green 100% smoothie juice. That was pretty good. This was from Trader Joe's. But then they have all this sugar in there, and I don't be liking all that. Total grams. Oh, that's fiber. Oh, no added sugars. Oh, okay, that was fiber. I was like, that's too good. No, I don't see any sugars. Oh, hold on. Total, yes it is, grams, 56 grams. Yeah, that's too much for me. I'm trying to get out of the habit, I know we want sugar, but it's in everything. You try to get away from it unless you cook your own food or make something yourself, which I'm working on. Listen, I just wanted to come encourage you all to keep doing the spiritual work. Keep doing the spiritual work. And what is the spiritual work I'm talking about? I'm talking about the work that no one sees. The work that no one sees, The work that no one sees. That's the spiritual work. The spiritual world cannot be seen. So you doing the spiritual work, you working on your character, you continuing to pray, you continuing to fast, you are continuing to work on your heart to uproot all the bitterness and unforgiveness in your heart, right? You unpacking anything that's holding you down. People can't see that. People can't see the work that you're doing that is spiritual, but they are going to notice a change in you. They are going to notice a change in you. They are going to see and hear a change in you. Because when you do the spiritual work, this here changes. Your heart changes. Depending on who you're talking to, your heart is this here or your heart is this here in your mind. It depends on who you're talking to. But when you do the spiritual work, this changes. And it can change overnight. So you have to continue doing the work. And when you continue doing the work, you're going to see those results come. I was going through some of my old journals last night. And I was up reading a lot of my old journals from 2021, 2022, 2023. And I know I have to speak to someone who's very prophetic because I have some questions. Because there was a repeated pattern, like in my journals, like my dreams. Because I dream, so I write my dreams down. And some of the things that I was dreaming about, I got a little inclination of what was going on. I know I have some understanding. But me going back in my journal, some dreams were just too reoccurring. Some dreams were just too reoccurring, and I know that was a message in those dreams. I know there were messages in there, right? But I was going back 2 years ago in my journals, reading those dreams, and the themes were like the same. I don't want to say it here, but the themes were the same. But I know at that time I was going through a lot of spiritual warfare. I was going through, quite a few things that I was just fighting, right? And the things that I were fighting, it could not be seen physically. I couldn't see it with my natural eyes, but with my spiritual eyes, I was able to see it. And I kind of knew, like, I knew what was going on. I knew what was going on. And I do want to say too, keep doing the spiritual work. And I know I said just before, I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but whenever you're doing the spiritual work on yourself, you are going to see an outward manifestation. Like, you're going to see, when you're doing the spiritual work, you're going to see things changing on the outside. You're going to see some things changing on the outside, but you yourself have to do the work to bring about that change, if that makes sense. You dealing with yourself. You dealing with yourself. You dealing with the issues of your heart. And just because you talk about things, see, what people got to realize, and I know there's a lot of people get mad and upset about things like this. Just because a person talk about something and they share their story, their experience, and what they've gone through, that doesn't mean that they have not forgiven. That doesn't mean that they haven't let go. That does not mean that. That doesn't mean that you have not let go. Right? It is good to share your testimony. It is good to talk about things that you've overcome, so people could resonate and relate to you. Because sometimes, as the old folks would say, you're so, what was that saying? You're so heavily minded until you're no earthly good. Which means, I guess you got to change your focus. You're just focused on things that, that you shouldn't be focused too much on. I know, people say they want to get to heaven, but how are you going to get there when you're not doing what you're supposed to do on earth? Basically, you're so heavily minded until you're no earthly good. But when you start doing the work, the spiritual work on yourself, there are many things that are going to change. You're welcome, Keisha. You're welcome, dear. When you start doing the work on yourself, a lot of things will change. Some things for the good and some things for the bad. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready. Because when you are doing the spiritual work, your eyes, your spiritual eyes will be open. And it's a scary thing if you're not ready. It's a scary thing, because when your spiritual eyes open and when you're doing the work, it sends you on a lonely journey that most people are not willing to endure because it's too painful. They're not willing to go through they're not willing to walk the journey alone. They're just not. They don't want to. Some people are so focused on pleasing others and satisfying others to where it's hard for them to be alone. It's hard for them to walk by themselves. It's hard for them to just shut the world out so they can go get what they need, so they can grow spiritually, so they can grow and then go back and help those in need. And the spiritual work is not in vain, because you can see it. You can see that some of the things that you're doing spiritually, some of your prayers, you can start seeing it, like I said, manifest. It start playing out. But you can't actually see a person. You can't see me dealing with the issues of my heart. You can't see that. That's in a private time. You can't see me, praying. You can't see me, forgiving someone. How do you see someone forgive? Just because you talk to a person or you buy them something or you hug them and say, I love you, that doesn't mean you're forgiving them. That doesn't mean that. You can't see forgiveness. That's something that's done spiritually. It's a decision. It's an invisible step you have to take that no one could see. Only you. You can say out of here that you forgave, and you didn't forgive. And we can feel when somebody haven't forgiven us. We know. You can feel it, but you just can't see it. That's what I mean by spiritual work. The things that you can't see. Like, I hope I'm not confusing you all, or I hope it makes sense. Like, forgiveness is a decision. I came up with this quote, and I Googled it to make sure nobody didn't have it, and to make sure that I wasn't using nobody else's stuff. And I didn't see this, okay? I said I was going to get it copyright, but I'm going to tell y'all now so somebody may steal it. But this is my quote. This is Monique's quote, right? I often tell people, or, I often say, forgiveness takes a decision. Forgiveness takes a decision, but letting go takes time. Because I can decide to forgive a person today. Today I say, I forgive you. You know what? You didn't know better. I forgive you. But letting go of the pain, the hurt, that takes time. You're not going to tell me that you can just flip. Unless it's a miracle. God could do anything now. Unless it's a miracle from God where you just forgot about it and, moved on. You're not going to tell me it's going to be easy to let go of the pain that someone has inflicted upon you. You can forgive them. Forgiveness takes a decision, but letting go takes time. It's the letting go that takes time, because you forgave the person, but you have to learn to let go of it, whatever the offense was. And it depends on how severe it was, too. So that's what I want to talk to you all about. Keep doing the spiritual work. Things are happening. Doors are opening. Favor is being, poured down upon you. People connected to you are being favored. Your bloodline is being favored. You're breaking generational curses. People are, your family, your bloodline, they're going to be people in your family that are recipients of the work that you're doing. Your children will not have to experience anything similar to what you've experienced, because you're the spiritual trailblazer in your family. You're the spiritual leader. You're the one that's bold enough to fight. You're the one bold enough to speak up. You're the one bold enough to stand up. You're the one bold enough to call that foolishness out in prayer. You're the bold one. That's why you're the chosen one. You're the one that's willing to see things in your bloodline and challenge that thing in prayer. To speak against it. To speak against it. And when you acknowledge the things that is going on in your bloodline, when you just acknowledge it, you're breaking the curse. If you dare say something about it, if you dare speak about it, speak against it, that's a start. Because you know the enemy loves secrecy. He loves hiding. He loves hiding in secret. He likes things to be, looked over, passed over, ignored. That's why so many families are being destroyed. It is not because people just want to be, loners. It's not that people want to be by themselves. It's because people don't want to acknowledge the truth. They don't want to speak against the truth. They don't want to speak against the doors their ancestors opened, their grandmothers opened, their moms and dads opened. We don't want to call out the people who birthed us. We don't want to call out our grandparents. And it's not to call them out saying you did this, that, and the other. No, what I mean call out their let me see. So people won't get offended. Their sin. I don't know no other word for it. But people get offended when you say that. Their trespasses, their transgressions. We don't want to acknowledge. Because we feel like if we acknowledge the sin, we acknowledge the wrongdoing, that we are speaking against or disrespecting the person. No, that's not what that is. You're just acknowledging what is taking place so we can be broken. Because a lot of people are being free. You got families that are breaking free. Some of these families are breaking free. They're reconciling. They're dealing with their stuff, All is not lost if people could put their pride aside and just focus on the spiritual things. People are being restored. Families, children, husbands, wives, they're being restored. Only if we could humble ourselves and say, Lord, I repent. Because, the pastors don't say that word in church. Pastors and preachers and these church buildings, they don't say that word. 2 words they don't say. Repent and sin. Them words, they're curse words and going to the church. What's supposed to be, worshiping and honoring what we say is God's house. They're not going to say them 2 words. People get so offended with them 2 words, but I don't care. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I don't care. But those 2 words are unheard of in church. They're afraid to say it. And you don't have to say, repent and come down on folks. Because God wasn't an aggressive God. When he spoke, he just spoke. He was so confident, he just spoke. Now, he was a little bold, though. He was, and some of his stuff, I'm like, he was cold with it. I'm not going to tell here. Some of his stuff, he was cold. The way he used to talk, like, it was straightforward. He didn't sugarcoat nothing. I won't say it's cold. He was direct. I'm going to say that. Look, he was direct with his stuff. He cut you just with words. And that's why words are so powerful. That's why we have to be careful what we say. I'm learning to be careful with my words. Because it's true. It's life and death. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. And whatever we say, we want to eat the fruit thereof. That's why I stopped joking around about certain things. I don't even say certain things anymore. And I try to teach my children because it's so normal just to say anything and you just cursing yourself. When you speak certain things, you curse yourself. You don't see it manifesting immediately, but you best believe spiritually is working. Spiritually is trying to create whatever you said out of your mouth spiritually that you can't see it. It's trying to make your reality come true. Whatever you are saying, those words are trying to find a way to put together, right? What you said. That's why I don't speak nothing but blessings now. I speak well over myself. I speak blessings, spiritual health, spiritual wealth. I speak good things. If I don't have anything good to say about myself, I just won't say it. Because, you know, we'll call ourselves, you know, the S word, STUPID. Some people call themselves DUMB. Some people call themselves UGLY. Just negative things. No, I don't do that. Not even in a joking way. I do call myself silly sometimes because I am like funny. That. But I have to watch that. I have to even watch that. It's serious. People say, oh, no, it's not that serious. It's that serious. It's that serious. But we take these things lightly because when you don't understand spiritual things, you don't care. You just say whatever. But once you get that spiritual knowledge and you don't have experience, you go to watching everything. It's not that you live in paranoia, but you watch. You do pay attention to your words. Your words, I know for me, my words are powerful. And I have to be careful with them. I have to be a good steward over what I say. Even with, you know, our children can make us mad and do things and we say something that we don't mean. You can't take that back. You can't take it back. Once you say whatever to your child, you just spoke something over their life. You can't take it back. Only thing you can do is try to correct it. Try to speak against it. Speak opposite of what you spoke that was negative. That's all you could do. So you all, I gotta go. Yep, I gotta go. You all be blessed. Be blessed. I have a few videos that I'm going to upload. I started back recording my videos. That's how I started out. I started out recording my videos instead of going live. So you'll start seeing a lot of videos pop up, just short videos of information and just wisdom to help you along your journey. Yep, to help you along your journey. Just like myself, I like to listen to others who have wisdom to help me. I didn't get here by myself. I like to listen to people who've experienced some of the same things that I've experienced, and I just learn from them. I honor them, and I learn from them. So you all be blessed. So you'll see some videos popping up. I don't know if I'm going to do it every day or every other day because I used to do them Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays when I first started out. So I may do the same. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So just be on the lookout. You all be blessed.